I think we're going to recommend that FEMA go away.
If we do get rid of FEMA, which we should, it's very expensive, doesn't work.
We want to wean off of FEMA, and we want to bring it down to the state level.
So obviously Donald Trump has made no secret at all of his desire to ultimately get rid of FEMA. But in the meantime, his administration is doing everything possible to destroy the agency from within. Trump is not only trying to divert millions of dollars from the agency to pay for his immigration agenda, but he has also diverted FEMA employees themselves, reassigning them to work for ICE. And that's not to mention that Trump's hand-picked FEMA director doesn't seem to have any interest in the job his agency actually does. That's why more than 180 current and former FEMA officials released a scathing letter this week, blasting the Trump administration for gutting the agency responsible for disaster relief, writing, quote, FEMA has been under the leadership of individuals lacking legal qualifications, Senate approval, and the demonstrated background required of a FEMA administrator. Our shared commitment to our country compel us to warn Congress and the American people of the cascading effects of decisions made by the current administration. In an apparent act of retaliation, about 30 of the current FEMA officials who put their names on that letter received emails on Tuesday night saying they had been placed on paid administrative leave effective immediately. That includes 2 FEMA workers, by the way, who helped respond to the catastrophic floods that swept through central Texas in July. So instead of preparing for disasters, which is what they are supposed to be doing, the Trump administration is punishing those who are raising the alarm about how unprepared we are. Joining me now is James Stroud. He is a statistician for FEMA who was just recently placed on leave. James, thank you so much for being here with me. You signed this letter along with 179, I suppose, of your colleagues. Tell us why you signed it.
Hi, Jen. Thank you for having me. First, I want to say that I'm speaking as an individual. I'm not representing FEMA in any capacity. I signed the letter because I think catastrophic damage is happening to FEMA, and I joined this agency to help people on the worst days of their lives. And what I've seen this year is horrifying and reckless and irresponsible, and it seemed like the only thing that I could do to sign this.
We have been reporting on this, as so many people have, about this is an agency that, as you said, people join to help people. It is the first response sometimes on the ground. They are there for months afterwards to help communities recover from disasters. It's not political in any way, shape, or form. What are people not seeing? What has not been reported or talked about what is happening in there that is horrifying to you and others who join the agency to do exactly that?
Yeah, I think one thing that is underreported is just the day-to-day agony and humiliation that we've been suffering this whole time. There's been such a culture of fear and uncertainty this entire year, where, as you showed in your lead-in, how there's always headlines about FEMA potentially being abolished. And how do you do your job every day when you have that hanging over your head? We have a lot of contract employees who, in normal times, would have their contracts renewed every 2 years or so. Those employees, when their contracts started expiring this year, they were essentially put in this like month-to-month limbo state of they don't know if they're having a job 30 days from now. They have families, they have kids. How can you possibly live not knowing what's happening more than 30 days ahead of you? It's just really, really demoralizing, and just seeing everything just ripped to shreds right in front of you and feeling so powerless. It's sickening. It's so hard to just go into work every day, and I am so proud of everyone who still does. They're able to soldier through this and help people and save communities. It's really, really inspiring.
You know very well from your job what it means to have the agency gutted, to have the employees reduced, to have funding reduced, given how important it is to have people on the ground immediately and also responding to multiple disasters at one time and sometimes for months. It's not like these recoveries are a day. Tell us more from your experience, someone who's been in the agency, about the impact of that stuff.
So there's a lot of things that FEMA does that just might not be in the news. Like, for example, in the Kerrville, Texas floods that killed more people than Hurricane Harvey did, which is so hard to believe, but it's true. They didn't have flood warning systems, and that is something that FEMA does. That FEMA funds a lot of hazard mitigation projects, so things like flood warning systems, elevating people's houses so they don't get just swept away in floods. And these are really expensive investments for small communities. So FEMA is essential for having these sorts of investments possible. And yeah, so these lack of investments, hazard mitigation has been completely neglected in this administration. So neglecting those investments, it puts people's lives at risk. We will see deaths. It's really ugly and just horrible.
James Stroud, I know it is not easy to speak out in moments like this. It's so important. I really appreciate you being here, helping people watching understand what's happening. Thank you again.
Thank you.